Smashing Pumpkins was one of my favorite videos of all time, and Sam did it because he painted the pumpkins in a color you'd never seen them before. We knew we had reinvented ourselves, and we knew we needed somebody to capture that, somebody that's very good at reinvention. And so that's how I knew he'd be the guy to show us in a new light. All the new materials, there's an immediacy to it that I think people latch on to.
I can't wait for people to actually hear everything and really get it. To hear the entire thing and sit with it for a little while to really soak it all in and absorb it and understand where we're coming from with everything. It feels like you have this really cool secret that you just want to get out.
You released numerous videos for this latest album, and even the one that you sort of got injured by. Tell us about that. That was very interesting.
I didn't really get so injured as Bob got a third-degree burn. You know, we were too close to the fire. Didn't want to mess up the shot. Bob's really good. He knew that we had one team that was bringing it now. So he started. Get here! We made has been dangerous or something. At least we almost drowned. And then that boat in the middle of the ocean, and they kept opening the front hatch so we could pretend to run off it. But just pretend because we're in the middle of the ocean. But that was the only way to get the shot. So eventually we're running in front of the boat, water keeps filling in, and it starts to capsize. And, you know, totally almost drowned for real. And then every video we've made pretty much since that's been really dangerous.
How did you get influenced in starting with music?
I think I got influenced starting music, well, definitely from my grandmother, you know, and she's the woman that Helena is about. She taught me to really open up and express myself. She taught me how to sing, how to paint, draw, everything creative I know how to do came from her. And she saw that I was okay at some things or good at them, and so she nurtured them. And she's my biggest influence. Whenever I'm creating something, I keep her in mind the whole time, you know. And I try to think what she would probably say about it. You know, she wasn't a big fan of like potty humor. She's not. There's a lot of things she wouldn't find acceptable, so I still have a filter because of her.
You're also working on a comic.
I am.
September. Tell us about that.
It's a very difficult comic to explain what it is, but that's okay. I think a lot of, like, the band is difficult to explain too. So it's called the Umbrella Academy. Dark Horse Comics is putting it out. They're an indie publisher that gives you complete creative freedom to do whatever you want, and they've allowed me to do this series as much as I want to do it. So I'll probably do like 6 issues here and then start a new one from number 1, another 6 issues. Very much like the way Hellboy and the Goon come out in spurts. So it's not about superheroes, but it is. It's very much a book for adults. It's very bizarre. It's very inspired by Grant Morrison's run on Doom Patrol for DC. Just has a lot of that chaos, a lot of that mystery that early comics had. It's just a lot of fun. So I'm working on it still right now.
You've toured with Avenged Sevenfield, you've toured with Green Day, now with this Back for A World Tour, you've toured with Muse.
Yeah. You know, and then through all the radio shows and festivals, we get to play with the Killers all the time. And they're one of my favorite bands, so we get to play with really who we want. And it's, you know, and a lot of those people are heroes like Green Day, and it's awesome. And Muse, too, really. I know we're kind of contemporaries, but those guys started really as the America's heroes. We were fans of them way before we had a band.
You're taking part in the Linkin Park's Project Revolution tour. It's a fantastic lineup.
It is. You know, it's like their best lineup. I mean, we get to hang out all day with Taking Back Sunday, who are some of our best friends. We already get along great with Linkin Park. we're friends with him, Placebo, and it's all these amazing bands. Mindless Self-Indulgence. Like, there's just a lot of great bands.
As all the success of the Black Parade and Gerard getting comfortable with stadiums, My Chemical Romance found themselves headlining their own world tour. One stop was in Helsinki, Finland. And even though places change and every night is different, one thing remains the same. The fans. They call themselves, and with reason, the MC Army.
The MC Army is amazing. I mean, they're amazing in every country, and they all prepare for our arrival. And it's such an honor to be able to have fans like that, you know. I think a lot of people would normally take that kind of thing for granted or not want to be bothered, but we really appreciate and are honored by it. It's, you know, MC Army really kind of started when Carlos, who was our first ever big fan, we asked him to run our street team, and then he said, well, what are we going to call it? And I said, let's call it the MC Army. And, you know, and then he got all his lieutenants and stuff, and he started running things, and it was amazing. And then those things sprouted up in all these different countries. And I love seeing it. I love the fact that they made their own uniforms. I love the fact that they have their own parades. It's awesome.
mcrmy, siis niinku Finland. Se on niinku suomalaisten fanien perustama tämmönen niinku street team, jossa niinku siinä niinku tehdään kaikkia tehtäviä tämän MCR:n tai siis MCR:n hyväksi. Ja ajateltiin, että pitää niille joku lahja nyt antaa, kun tulee Suomeen asti keikalle. Ja sitten me ajateltiin, että se pitää olla niinku jotain suomalaisia tällä. Ja sitten saatiin toi levyyhtiö suostui viemään sen niille. Se oli semmoinen mölkky.
I mean, just the fact that, you know, you're in a band and you get to play shows in different countries, because people want to see you in different countries, is very flattering. So that's one of the best parts about being on tour. Even traveling out of state to us is a big deal.
Now, when Mikey's spending time doing what he has to do as a newlywed,
As a husband.
yeah, exactly. What is it now as a Black Parade World Tour?
You mean without Mikey, basically? Yeah. You know, the thing about this
You
band,
added synthesizers and you added like...
Yeah, actually, the only thing we added is one musician. And we don't run any tracks other than sound effects, which will be like loops, and that comes all from James DeWeese, who he's actually one of the first guys to bring us on tour with his band Reggie in Full Effect. And he was like my big brother. He really took care of me, and that's when I was kind of messed up on drugs and booze and stuff. There was times where he carried me to the van, you know. And so he's my big bro. And when we needed a piano player, we had asked him, "Would you please join?" You know, and play piano for us. So that's all we added, just piano and a computer that just plays sound effects when we need them. But it's all us making that sound. Yeah, the idea behind this band is that the people in the band, everything comes from them and it's important, but the idea is if somebody kind of falls off or needs a break or something, like, you can keep going. And that's part of the idea, because the spirit of the band is what's important, not the individual.